Is your business finding it difficult to find a supply chain that is efficient, effortless and profitable? Well, we have got you covered. VoiceWhat presents the great business story transforming India in association with NDTV Profit. And today we will be talking about Leap India, a company that promises you all. I have with me Mr. Sunu Matthews, who is the founder and managing director of Leap India. Thank you for speaking to NDTV.
Thank you, Aditi, for calling me on the show.
Sunu, I would like to ask you first, what vision did you have and how the idea of starting Leap India came into your mind?
So, Aditi, LEAP is an acronym to Leading Enterprise in Asset Pooling. Here we would like to harp on asset pooling because one asset is shared amongst various pillars of supply chain. So with this intent, I felt that if you have to reduce the cost of supply chain, then one-way packaging has to go away and one asset has to be used by multiple users. So with this thought, I started this company in the year 2013.
How does Leap India help in logistics in India? When
Leap came in, we made 1200 by 1000 mm pallet, which today predominantly all FMCG company or any company for that matter which is using a rectangular pallet is using a 1200 by 1000 mm pallet. For anybody who is using a drum or a bucket which needs a square pallet, so we have given a 1200 by 1200 mm pallet. So this has become the nomenclature in the industry. If you have to store a unit load in the rectangular or a square pallet, it is Leap pallet.
But did you find any challenges in scaling Leap India while you were taking the company forward? How did you overcome these challenges?
When I started this company in 2013, country's supply chain was on a very nascent stage. Previously, people have used tarpaulins and cement flooring in order to store their products and their boxes, and then they used to handball that into the truck. It took us a very long time to actually teach the market that if you want to store, say, 3x2 cases, which is 64 cases on one pallet, and then you can drag it to the loading bay and then you can handball it into the truck. So your turnaround time considerably comes down. So ignorance was one of the major challenge when I was scaling. Second very important aspect was capital. This is a very capital intensive business, and I can say that the raw material in this business is capital. Mayfield India trusted in my dream and they put in the first money. So after that it was pretty easy for me. Money was never a problem for us once we were invested in the year 2016. So these are the two major challenges which I believe that I have overcome.
How does Leap India uses technology that has a leverage in the current market? How does it ensure that the supply chain has optimum technology to its utilization?
See, Aditi, Leap is in the forefront of technology, whether from the internal point of view or from external, which is customer point of view. You can see internally we are on the top-notch software, which is S/4HANA SAP. We have combined that with Tableau for our dashboards. We have My Leap as a software in order to track our assets. We have 6 million assets with us. And we have an internal system which talks about our sales management, strategic sales management philosophy. As far as the customers are concerned, customers can track our products. So they will be able to understand whether the RM and PM, raw material, packaging material, has reached FG site or not. And accounting also absolutely becomes easy on palletization because you need not have to count each and every box or SKU. You just have to count the pallet and your accounting is done. So I believe this is the way we are helping the supply chain in a very big way.
Would you like to tell us about what are the unique strengths that Leap India has and others do not?
I believe that the business model of Leap itself is having a unique strength. there are some 8 to 12 parameters which you have to master if you have to do this business. For example, understanding of business, understanding of the geography of the country, understanding strategic sales. This is not a normal sale. You have to use the asset for 20 years to actually generate revenue for you. So this business model is very, very unique. Second uniqueness is our network in the country. Today, if you want to serve one customer, for example, if we have to serve a customer which is sending white goods, they will be having 50 locations. Now, to serve 50 locations in the country, I got to have right amount of warehouses, but most importantly, I should have enough customers at those locations, because when those pallets will come back, when they don't need it, they will return it back to me. At that point in time, I cannot bring it back to the base location. I will have to allot it somewhere there itself. So this is the most important challenge of having the national network, and I believe that we have already cracked the code.
How does Leap India make it easier for your clients to make the supply chain operation much more easier and accessible?
What we are telling the companies is that anything which is related to OPEX in supply chain, you give it to us, and you need not have to worry about the seasonality. You pay as per you use. So you call for, in 48 hours we deliver it to you. Whenever you don't need it and when your season is down, you can return back and you will stop paying the rent. We are saying that you move away from CapEx model to the OPEX model.
What is the life cycle of your pallets and how do you ensure that they are durable?
We have a perpetual life of a pallet, because whenever a pallet is used in the market by our customers and whenever they return it, we have a model called SRC, sorting, repairing and conditioning. Along with that, whenever we deliver the pallets to any customer which goes from our warehouse, we have LPQS, Leap Pallet Quality Standard. So what happens is, if a pallet comes into or a product comes into SRC model for say 4 times in 4 years, so technically if it comes into our system 4 times in 3, 4, 5 years, we will replace the entire timber of that pallet and make that pallet ready to use, which is on the basis of our LPQS. Now, in order to check LPQS, we have a sandbag test, we have a pressure test, we have a point load testing. Upon that testing only, we release these pallets. So worldwide, if you look at companies, they have more than 400, 500 million pallets, and it is not that they discard the timber, they repair the timber and make it fresh for use once again.
All processes, all companies are being measured right now on sustainability. There is a big focus on it. Then how is Leap India focusing on making your products, sustainable towards environment?
The model of Leap itself is the most sustainable thing in the country. What we say is that you work on a pooled packaging unit. In developed countries and in most of the developing countries also, there is a kind of environment calculator. It will show you how much of CO2 imprint you have been able to reduce in the atmosphere. So this is a proven method. There are many companies in the West that if you use a pooled pallet and not use a one-way pallet, then they give you carbon credit, which you can set it off against your VAT. So this is how we believe that we are a 100% sustainable company, and we are taking Bharat towards a sustainable journey.
How does Leap India contribute to the community at large?
I say to this myself every day that I am a very patriotic guy. Bharat is in the heart. So we keep country as the base, that what is it that we are doing that people will talk when we are not there. We donate in a very big way. We choose Rotary, and you can see that we are one of the biggest donors. We have worked on bringing up the water level in many parts of the Raigad district. We have adopted few villages wherein we are bringing electricity and water to the shore. We are making sure that we are helping industrial training institutes so that people can be trained and they can be given jobs. So if you just visit our website, you will be able to see what is the kind of activity my team is doing as far as upliftment of women in the country, whether it is related to sanitization, whether it is education, whether it is giving them bicycles. We have given auto rickshaws to women drivers. So my thought process is that by 27-28, 70% of our employees will be women employees in Leap India.
I'll just, ask, what is the future for Leap India? Are you planning to diversify it or expanding it geographically?
Yeah. We have a huge plan for Leap. We want to grow every year between 30 to 45%, which is a big number. And I can tell you that this is not selling. Selling is very easy. This is generating revenue through annuity method, that one asset has to be refurbished again and again to generate revenue. We have our geographical ambitions. We are already talking to many countries wherein we can go as a subsidiary, and there are companies which we are looking to buy. But again, I said that we will do everything which is revolving around a single unit, which is a pallet or a FLC or a crate.
Well, with that, thank you so much, Mr. Matthews, for speaking to NDTV, and I wish you all the best for you and Leap India.
Thank you for calling me, and thank you, NDTV.
Welcome back. You're watching a special show on VoiceWhat presents the great business story transforming India in association with NDTV Profit. And we have a very special guest with us, but let me give you a little introduction. KONE, a global leader in escalators and elevators, has an experience or has a heritage of over 110 years, dedicated to enhancing urban life by prioritizing quality, comfort, safety, sustainability, and most important, forward-thinking innovation. Operating in India since 1984, KONE is committed to societal responsibility and offers comprehensive solutions to not just developing but also maintaining these elevators. Joining me now is Let's Speak with Mr. Amit Gusain, Managing Director, India and South Asia, KONE Elevators. It's a pleasure to have you with us, Mr. Gusain.
Same here, Ambika. Nice to be here.
To begin with, I think 40 years, a long time in India. If you can take us through KONE's journey in the last 4 decades, how's it been?
Right, so firstly, KONE, like you said, is actually over 113 years globally, a Finnish company, Finnish heritage, and Finland is a country known for education and innovation. One of the prominent companies of Finland. We've been in India for 40 years now. We are today the largest manufacturer of elevators and escalators. But it's been a hard journey. 1984 came in with a collaboration. You couldn't have a majority stake. 1992, when liberalization happened, bought 100%, and then became a wholly owned subsidiary of KONE Corporation. And we've actually been investing ever since, slow and steady. And the real estate has also been growing slow and steady. But the last, I'd say 10 to 12 or 15 years have been quite fast, especially the last few years for the real estate industry. So while we did have a lot of elevators and escalators manufactured in India and some imported, today we have the largest manufacturing factory for elevators and escalators in South and Southeast Asia. The largest factory for elevators is actually also a KONE factory, which is in China, but this one, Make in India, we make here, very proud to do that in Sri Perambudur near Chennai. Secondly, we introduced a lot of technology through the years. We came up with recently 24/7 connected services, which is IoT-based, cloud-based technology to monitor the elevators. Before that, we also introduced smart elevators, and then from mechanical to the smart elevators to now. So it's been a very good journey, and we have a very good team. We've now grown. Today we employ about 5,800 people permanently. We have large technology center in Chennai, which employs about 1,300 people. Another technology center in Pune, which employs about 250 people. So we are expanding. We are making in India, and we will also export. So make in India for the globe.
What factors have really, played an important role in this evolution?
Yeah, firstly, I think our economy has been up and down in India, and that was one of the main factors. So the investment had to be there because we were sure about the future of India, and that we can see now. Similarly, the real estate industry has really come up very nicely, very sustainable buildings coming up, and I think because everybody is now looking for housing and the government is working on housing for all, there is luxury housing, so real estate is something with a large population which will keep picking up. So, we were very sure of the future of India anyway, so we kept investing, and like I said, and you're also saying slow and steady. It had to be slow and steady, and now it's quite fast because things are happening quite fast now.
That's great, but when we talk about in any company, in any work, any business, I think customer really is key. So how do you prioritize at KONE customer satisfaction?
So it's a good question because at KONE, all our strategies have been very customer centric. India in the KONE world has the highest customer satisfaction index.
Wow.
We also have one of the highest employee happiness index. And I've been always saying happy employees is equal to happy customers is equal to happy stakeholders. We work on our values. Again, at the core of our values is the customer. So our values are care, it's customer, it's collaboration, it's courage. And care for our employees, for our customers, and customer being at the center, we look at him to see the innovation that they need and keep evolving and keep innovating. Then of course the collaboration within the teams and with the customer is important. And courage to do things and do things fast, which we've been doing over the year.
But just moving on, a significant change that, or an achievement, sorry, if you see what, over the years, we've seen how evolution has happened. We've spoken about the journey. Obviously, take us through a little bit about that. Tell us about that.
We have the world's largest elevator in India, and in the world is actually in India. The world's largest elevator is in India, which is in the Geo Center, 235 passengers. So when the Geo Center was being created, we created this largest elevator. In that Geo Center, we have 188 escalators and elevators. India's fastest elevator, it's an Oberoi 360, that's also a KONE elevator, 8 meters per second. And some of the highest towers in India have KONE elevators. So we've evolved with technology, we've evolved with manpower and training, and we've kind of built world-class elevators here. We give world-class service.
Obviously, we've spoken about your journey, what all you've been doing, but developing these high quality elevators has its own challenges, has risks. How do you cope with those challenges?
It's not a challenge, it's actually an opportunity.
Okay.
So when we look at developing high quality elevators, we talk to our customers. We find out what their need is. For example, we created iMono design in India, which is linked to Vastu. So customers were saying, we want a Vastu designed elevator. Now you can't design the exact placement of an elevator because that's to the builder and the building. But then we have the 5 elements, the fire and the water, etc. on Vastu, and we created those designs. So today, then we refresh those designs again after 5 years. Today we have 37 designs, interior designs on elevators, and we have architects in our technology center that work on it. So this is just one example. Then a lot of customers said we want really sustainability as the focus. So we started looking at regenerative drives, looking at various sustainable options and technologies to do that.
I want to ask you, I was reading about KONE Ultra Rope and KONE EcoDisc. If you can tell us and our viewers a little bit about the technology and how does it improve efficiency? How different is it from the traditional way?
Yeah, so KONE Ultra Rope, if you see an elevator rope, a traditional rope is what? It's steel, very heavy. Ultra Rope is carbon fiber, very light and a longer life. Now, for higher buildings and higher speeds, the lighter the elevator, the safer it is. EcoDisc is again, it's a machine with permanent magnets, which has reduced the size of the machine of the elevator, making it more sustainable and more efficient.
How are you ensuring, or what are some safety features integrated into KONE elevators, if you can tell us?
I just say in general, there are 3 things I'd like to point out here. Firstly, I tell our teams that the most important part of our business is safety. Now we've created a lot of things within our elevators. Firstly, we've got automatic rescue device, and that, when an elevator comes down and there is no power, let's say, the door should actually open. Okay, now that's also become a lift standard in a lift standard. We follow every norm of lift standards. Secondly, we also introduced the 24/7 connected services. Now what is 24/7 connected services? It's a predictive maintenance. So the machine actually through the cloud IoT predicts, right? It predicts that the machine is going to fail. So our technician goes, our service engineer goes, fixes the elevator even before it fails. The machine sends a message to the machine that there is going to be something wrong, and the technician goes and fixes it before anything happens. So what KONE told our customers is, we will have IoT based the same technology for your existing elevators. We'll invest a little, which is a box, and then the same mechanism can work. So this is another safety feature that we've added, but all our teams are very safe. You see a site of construction and you see within that a KONE site, it'll be completely different because everybody is in PPEs, helmets, like all other sites.
To ensure every safety in every aspect.
Exactly, and everything is also written down properly there.
I think that's good to hear. I mean, all your customers are also just good to know that safety is of paramount importance. Just moving on a little bit on corporate social responsibility, and you have spoken about sustainability, but sustainability and environmental protection is now kind of a norm. Tell us a little bit about the work which KONE is doing in this space, and why do you think it's relevant for everyone to be working in this space?
So we are very focused on education, especially in and around our factory, the villages there. We have a lot of villages that we look after. We have single teacher schools. They teach the economically weak sections of the society in and around, and then good students come out of that. That's number one. So we've got a lot of these centers. Secondly, we also work on Swachh Bharat in a way because we clean India. You must have seen some flowers painted with different colors on sustainability, and sometimes you might see a KONE logo here and there. But more importantly, we do that. It does two things. One, it keeps the city clean. Secondly, it also employs some of these painters and artisans from the villages who are really good in this art. Thirdly, we also clean waterways. There are some ponds, specifically in Chennai and some other parts that we work on. We have a medical van in the northeast, which runs in Guwahati to take care of some of the medical needs of the villages there. So these are some of the things we're very, very focused on.
Wishing you all the best, and thank you so much for speaking with NDTV and coming on our show.
Thank you very much.
It's really been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.